Good morning, students. This is SD Pawar, lecturer, Department of Economics, Gokte PU College of Commerce and Science, Belgaum. Today we shall do the second part of macro introduction topic and the concluding part of it. In the first part, we have discussed the meaning of macro, that it deals with the economy as a whole. It deals with aggregates and averages. That is, aggregate means total and averages means overall economy. Then there are four sectors in the macro economy. The major sectors, they are, I had told you, household sector, then the firms, then the government and the external sector. Household sector, that is, they act in two capacities, that is, they act as consumers of finished goods and services that are produced by the firms, and they also supply the factors of production like land, labor, capital. Then firms, second sector, who are engaged in what? Production of actual goods and services. Then government sector, third sector, that is, they prescribe the rules and regulations or the laws and they of the country. Then they provide certain infrastructure, all the infrastructure facilities. They also do the collection of tax and frame taxation policy, and they act as advisor, guidance to the economy. And the fourth sector, that is external sector, which deals with foreign trade, export and import of goods in the country. Then who are decision makers or economic agents, that is, the individuals or the firms or the government who take the economic decisions. They are called as economic agents, or who are economic agents, the decision makers are called as economic agents. Then we have seen that is okay, the four sectors we have described. Then now the features of capitalistic economy we have dealt with, that is, there is economic, that is, first one is what? There is a freedom to own the economic property. Anyone can own land, property as much as they want, and they can do the production. Then they have economic freedom as to what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Then the motive is, third one is profit motive. They are doing the production for profit purpose. Then here market forces play the main role, that is, there is price mechanism, that is, the forces of market forces of demand and supply decide the price of the goods, and there is less interference or minimum interference of the government in economic activities. And the role of government is to provide what? Infrastructure facilities, rules, regulations, and act as a guidance to the economy. Okay, now today let us deal with describe the Great Depression of 1929. Okay, there will be an important question here. Now let's read it. Macroeconomics emerged as a separate branch of economics after the British economist John Maynard Keynes, that is J.M. Keynes, we have discussed it in the first part, published his celebrated book means famous book, The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, in the year 1936. So there will be a 1 mark question based on this in multiple choice question. So you have to remember the name of the book, The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, in the year 1936, and that is written by whom? John Maynard Keynes or J.M. Keynes, you can remember. Earlier to this, economics was dominated by classical thinking who believed in full employment and non-interference by the government. I have told you classical economists like Adam Smith, Alfred Marshall, who believed in microeconomics. They believed that every labor who is ready to work will get employed. So there is full employment in the country, and every factory is fully employing all the resources, and non-interference of the government or minimum interference of the government. That is, in other words, we call it as what? Laissez-faire policy. However, the Great Depression of 1929 proved them wrong. Now I have written the meaning here. What is Great Depression? It is a period which began in North America and Europe with a huge fall in output. Output means here there was a fall in the production. Production was less, and fall in output and employment. When output or production is less, employment is also going to be less, because see, employment means labor are producing the output. When output or production is less, the labor employed will be less, so employment will become less due to under consumption. Why it was? Because of under consumption. The consumption was less in those countries. Under consumption means less consumption, and over investment. Investment was more, but consumption was less. From 1929 to 1933, which made the economist to think about functioning of an economy in a new way, which considers the interrelation and interdependence of different sectors. Different sectors means here we have already discussed the four major macroeconomic sectors, that is household, firms, government and external sector. The subject of macroeconomics was born. See here, they believed in micro means goods were produced within the country, consumed within the country at micro level. Macro means where external sector is also involved. They realized that this factor after the Great Depression, that is suddenly the consumption became less and production became less and employment also became less. Then next question we deal with is, name the two kinds of trade. There is again a question in the question bank. Here everything I am doing is as per the question bank only. I am continuously repeating this. At the end of the syllabus, I will again send you the question bank also. Name the two kinds of trade. The two kinds of trades are domestic trade or internal trade or internal trade. This is called as export trade, where country sells goods and services to rest of the world. Here the two types are domestic trade and international trade. Now external trade is what? Export is, the trades are of two types, export and import trade. Then export is what? Where country sells the goods and services to the rest of the world. The country produces, say example, India produces certain goods in the country and sells it to other countries of the world. That is called as export trade. Okay. Then import or external or international trade. Okay. Import or external trade or international trade, where a country buys the goods from rest of the world. Actually, there is a little correction here. The two kinds of trades are domestic trade and international trade. Okay. Then domestic is what? The country produces the goods within the country and consumes the goods within the country. That is internal trade. Then international trade or external trade is what? That is, it is export and import. And export is what? Country produces within the country and sells outside the country. Import is what? Where the country buys the goods from rest of the world. Just do the little correction there, sorry. Then we come to the last part of this topic, another question. Already we have dealt it with in the chapter microeconomics, but this question belongs to this topic, so I will discuss it one more time. Difference between micro and macroeconomics. Okay. Now there will be a question again, differentiate between micro and macroeconomics, and is economics a study of micro or macro? Here you are going to write economics is a study of both micro and macro. This carries 1 mark. Okay, it is joint question. Then we see the difference. Firstly, micro meaning we see. What is the meaning of micro? You have to write there another column, that is meaning, tools, objective and theory. These are the points of differentiation. Okay, you make one more column, that is points of differentiation, then micro column and macro column. So meaning, micro means what? Small, which studies the behavior of individual units of an economy, like per capita income, single price of the product. It studies at a smaller level. Micro means what? Small parts of the economy, that is, it studies the behavior of a single individual. It studies the per capita income, the income of a single individual, single price of a product, not the market price but the single price of a product, that is not all the products in the market, single price, say price of onion or single price of tomato, etc. Macro means large and studies the behavior of aggregate and averages. Macro means what? These are Greek terms, micro and macro, and here macro means large, and it studies the behavior of aggregates. Aggregate means total. You are not going to use the word total while writing, you will use the word aggregate. And averages. Averages means what? Overall. You are not going to use the term overall, I am just giving you the meaning. You will use the term aggregate and averages, totals and overall of the economy as a whole. Okay, as a whole in general, like it studies not per capita income but it studies the national income. It does not study the individual savings of a person but it studies the total savings of the country, total expenditures of the country, total exports of the country, imports of the country, etc. Okay. And then the tools. What are the important tools of micro? That is, demand and supply are the main tools of microeconomics. Okay, individual demand and individual supply are the main tools of microeconomics, whereas in macro the aggregate demand and the aggregate supply are the main tools of macroeconomics. That is a total demand, market demand, the total demand of the economy, the total demand, the total supply of the economy are the main tools of macroeconomics. Then what is the objective of studying micro? Third point of differentiation. Its aim is to determine the price of a commodity, or price of factors of production. Means it studies the price theory or pricing of goods in the market. It studies the prices. Based on the price, how the demand and supply, individual demand and individual supply function. or the price of factors of production means what? You already know what are the factors of production: land, labor, capital and organization. So the prices of factors of production means what rewards the factors of production gets, that is land gets what? Rent. How much rent is to be paid, how much wages are to be paid to the labor, how much interest is to be charged or received on investments, and how the profits should be determined by the organizer. So pricing of a commodity product, that is, and pricing of factors of production. Whereas macro, it aims to determine the income and employment level of the economy. It determines what is the total income of the economy, and based on that how much what is the employment level in the economy. Okay, means it's income is national income is related to employment also. Okay, that is national income is more means production is more means investment is more investment. If it is more, consumption has to be more, consumption is more, then production is more means employment has to be more. So it is all interlinked. These are all interlinked: income, investment, production, employment level, consumption level. These are all interlinked and at a macro level. Then the fourth point of distinction in that is theory. Micro study is related to theories like the theory of price. Theory of price means determining the price of individual products. Then theory of price of factors of production, and the theory of consumer behavior. It studies the behavior of consumer behavior. In consumer behavior, you have already dealt with two theories, that is, what are they? One is based on cardinal utility, that is law of diminishing marginal utility, and another important theory is what? Theory of indifference curve based on ordinal utility analysis. Okay, so it studies the behavior of the consumer, at what price what the consumer would like to demand, and at what price the individual supplier would like to supply. Then in macro, the theories are the theory of consumption and investment. These are the topics again you will be studying in macroeconomics. Theory of employment, national income. Okay, so these are the topics that come under the macroeconomics theory. So this is the concluding part of the lesson macroeconomics, which I have explained in two parts. I hope you have understood it. Thank you.